So I call my brother, sobbing, and tell him what she had said. At first, my brother, I think, was shocked by the incident, not sure what what was going on. I still not sure how he felt about it. But then after I told him that, it was like it was weird because after I told him that, all them feelings kind of disappeared, and I've never experienced anything like that before in my life. I've experienced the death of family members that have come back. Um, but that was strong. That was powerful. I know my mother's energy is always with me. Always. And there's just no denying that. Okay, so I'm going to move on to one more story, kind of like that. Can't remember how many years ago, but it's been a few. It's been a long time ago. My favorite uncle passed away. God love him. He was my favorite uncle. He was perfect. He was the life of the party. Well, he wasn't perfect, but he was the life of the party. We had our issues. We had a few fights, but all in all, I loved him dearly. I don't care what anybody said about him. I loved him. And he was a good man. So when he passed away, it was strange because I spoke to him on a Sunday night. I had to get up early to get up and get the kids off and get my husband off to work, ex-husband off to work, and we went. Um, he called and he was crying because of the some issues that had happened. I'm not going to get into the issues at hand, but it was it was just messed up. But he was threatened to commit suicide, and he was tired of being the way he was. He was tired of what was happening, and I got a little frustrated and told him, you know, Uncle Jack, I don't want to hear it. I've got to get up early in the morning, and I hung up, and that was the last conversation that I had with my uncle. And I think the phone call was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So the next couple days went by, and I'm getting worried because I'm trying to contact him and cannot contact him. So, and I'm calling my grandmother's house because he lived with my grandmother, and no, no way I could get a hold of him. So I started feeling very strange about the whole situation. So I call my mother. My mother comes over, and we go over there. And we're knocking on the door, and nobody answers the door. Well, I notice in the picture window, in the bottom, the window was open. So I started talking through the window, and the curtains were open just a little bit, and I can see my grandma. And my grandma at the time suffered from dementia. So she's on the couch, and I'm asking her, Grandma, can you get up and unlock the door. She goes, no, 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 I can't do that. I was like, well, where is Uncle Jack? And she goes, I don't know. He's around here somewhere. So I knock on his bedroom window and nothing, nothing at all. So I really start getting scared. And my grandma had a code on her garage door. And my uncle had told me what the code was, but I just couldn't recall it. I kept trying to figure out what it was, and I couldn't. And then all of a sudden, a voice in my head, and it sounded like my Uncle Jack, came into my head and said, remember, your birthday and my birthday. I thought, I just got this overwhelming rush. And I looked at my mom and I said, I figured it out. I didn't say anything to her about it. So I put the code in as the garage door slowly opened. My grandmother's car is in the garage. And it comes up and comes up. And in the passenger seat, my uncle is slumped over. My uncle was an alcoholic. So I thought maybe he may have been passed out. So I go into it was just a small one-car garage. I walk to the driver's side and I'm like, at first I'm pissed. I'm like, Uncle Jack, wake up. Wake up. And nothing happened. And he was laying there, still as can be, a drink in between his feet on on the floorboard. And when I realized it, it was like all the blood rushed from my body. And I fell back and hit the wall. And just, it freaked me out badly. And uh, anyway, he took a bunch of pills and drank his vodka and whatever he had in it and left the car running. But he did leave he opened the windows in the house so it wouldn't affect my grandmother. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. The night before the funeral, a bunch of us went and had a couple drinks in honor of him, whatever. Anyway, so we went out late and didn't. We just had a couple drinks and then came home. And then the next morning, I wake up at, it's early, I don't remember what time it is, and my ex-husband is on the phone with his work, and he's crying and explaining that he's not going to be able to go to work because Uncle passed, and he said all of a sudden he heard this voice in his ear that sounded like Uncle Jack telling him to calm down. So, pretty strange. It got me a little freaked out. I love supernatural stuff and spirits and energies and all that, but it freaked me out a little bit. And because I tried to lay back down and go to bed, I turned my back away from the edge of the bed, and I believe it was my uncle. He was playing with my hair. So, anyway, I just thought I'd tell you guys some stories about that. It's been rough, but I'll be okay. Remember, you're beautiful. You can handle anything life throws at you. Until the next video.